today. So in this, you guys, we're going to be talking about brand strategy. Do you know what a brand is? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go look at strategy because there's steps to get to that place before we get to that audience, and then knowing how to map out that journey. All right. So what else you all will find on your table is not only a sketchbook, you'll also see your markers. You have a black marker. You also have a red and a blue marker. You even have stickers on here because when you start mapping out some things, you might be a person that's very creative and just you just want to map it out. All right. You're going to find out that it's very vital when we are doing business and we're in the business realm that we really, really focus in on our clients and our customers because we want them to come back for more and more. All right. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to literally go through a journey of it all in the process. But let me say a few things. And how many of you guys are looking to write a book or you've written a book? Look at all this here. Okay. I had a feeling of that. You already started. But here's the key. I met Kennedy. Was it a real talk? Mm-hmm. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. Yes. But what it was I got a chance to read. I'm trying to figure out what was the very first book. All of her books are up here. Now, I can't remember what was the first book you wrote because I got a chance to read the first book. I think it might have been Now What? I can't remember. Just can't.
Two
do
wrongs.
right.
Two wrongs.
Two wrongs don't make it right. Now, I got a chance to read her book. And I said, this girl is a downright storyteller. Not only was she a storyteller, but it was to the point that I couldn't even put the book down because she was a storyteller and she was telling her story. But the thing is, in her story, there were areas that were so relatable to where I'm like, oh snap. But she literally was telling her story till I just had to flip. Then I had to go to another book. Now with Kennedy, and Kennedy's going to say a few words and she's going to talk to you guys, and then you guys get a chance to meet her as well. For you all that are looking to write a book or you want to purchase one of her books. Aren't these beautiful? Looking to purchase one of her books just to read or even gather more information on what it is that I need to do in order to get my story out. And I'm saying story because that's going to be part of the journey. All right. And so right now, I wanted her to just come up, introduce herself. And I want you to kind of tell people what made you go in or what was it that really got you to really share more about what it is that you do. All right. Come on up, Miss Kennedy.
Hello, beautiful ladies.
Hello.
How you guys doing today? Okay, well, I am author Kennedy DeVoe, and my first book was an Amazon bestseller, which was Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right, It Makes Us Even. And the journey of that book was that it started when I was probably about 15 or 16 years old dating. And as you know, in the dating world, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly.
And the uglier.
Uh-oh.
And so a friend of mine was like, you should write a book and tell everybody about your stories. And I was like, I should, right? And I did. And it turned out to be a raw, relatable read that other people could relate to because they have been through some of this. Well, not everything, thank God, but some of the things that I have been through. And so after that, I only had planned on writing a book because my background is education. I'm actually an educator. And so I write under a pen name because I never want anyone to, people be Googling you and then they find out you're crazy and don't want to give you the job. And so I wrote the first book with no intentions of ever sharing anything else. And people kept going, when's your next book coming out? When's your next book coming out? I'm thinking to myself, I ain't planning on writing the next book. But okay, so then I came out with my second book, which was With Friends Like These Who Needs Enemies. And it focused on the relationships and friendships of women, how things change over the course of time. Sometimes you grow up with people and you grow apart. They're not the same as they were when we was 15, 16 years old, so, or you start noticing little things about them, like you don't like them no more. So I just went on to continue to write and write and write. And then finally, people started approaching me, wanting me to write their books. And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that, you know? But you should never set limits on yourself because you never know what you can do. So I went ahead and wrote a book for someone, and they referred someone, and they referred someone. And next thing I know, I have ghostwritten 14 books. And I have written 10 of my own books.
Wow.
So I've been in business since 2012. I've helped 26 authors publish their books just as well. And I've helped celebrities ghostwrite their books. I can't tell you who. I can only tell you one because she gives me permission. And her name is Latanya Banks. And she is of Little Women LA, the little person. So, but it's just a pleasure to be able to help people bring their stories to life.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. And I always try to explain to people, just because you have a story doesn't mean it's going to be a bestseller.
Right.
You know, so if you're putting it out there for that reason, don't. It should be for therapeutic purposes to share, you know, and always remember, do not rely on your friends and family to support you. Your support is going to come from strangers that you don't even know, like her. So thank you for sharing your platform with me, and I appreciate it.
That's it. Any questions for her for right now?
I'm sorry? Well, I don't charge per minute. I'm sorry, per word. I have packages. And so those packages include the editing, the book cover, the ebooks. And I also have a podcast that I do, which showcases the people that I work with so that they have an opportunity to be on my platform and be able to market and promote themselves, vice versa for me, just as well as on their platform. But the packages, they differ from, you know, just contingent upon what the project is. Because like right now I have someone who's doing a 365-day journal, but I'm ghostwriting it. So it's just contingent upon what you want to talk about. So, but my cards are on the table. And I do consultations, and my website is on there. So you can go to my website and click on the services tab, and then you can book a consultation with me. Everything that I do is via Zoom. I don't do in person or anything like that. So it's convenient for everyone. So all we do is set up Zoom meetings. Then you get online and you tell me what you want to talk about. Then my typist types it up from there. And then I go back and rewrite everything. Then I give it back to you. You read it. And then we book another session. And I do about 5 sessions, 2 hours each time. So you get 10 hours talk time. And it usually takes me about 6 to 8 months to write a book from beginning to end. But that's only if the client is consistent, because I get a lot of people who come to me, they're ready, but they're not really ready, and life is lifing. So they got to take a break, and then next thing I know, they've been on my roster for 2 years, and that's not how it's supposed to go. It's an in and out process. Wow. And for us to actually get the book together after it's done, it takes about another 3 months. So you're looking at maybe a year turnaround time. But that's only if you're consistent.
That part.
Well, with copywriting, so for me, when I write the book, you pay me my money. That's it. There's no money on the back end that I get from you. All of it's yours. It's under your name, even though I wrote the book, because it's your words, not my story. So I walk you through the copyright process, and I also walk you through getting your ISBN number, putting it up on Amazon, all of that. Oh, go ahead. Because she gave me 30 minutes and she knows.
Right.
I will say this. I wrote a book, and the book was a fairy tale that I made up for my youngest son when he was a little boy. He's like 30-something now. And so he actually thought it was a book that I bought or just read to him from the store. He didn't know I had made the whole thing up. When I told him that, he was like, you should make it into a book. So I did. I did it on Amazon. It was really bootleg, but I only did it as a Christmas present to him. Now he's an adult and he's starting to collect books for when he starts having kids and all that kind of stuff. And so what I'm saying is, there's been, outside of my best friend, only 4 family members purchased the book, and it's just, I think the book is like $4 or something. It was just really for my son. It wasn't really for necessarily public consumption. I just wanted it in a formal setting for him. And the rest of the people that bought the book was like all my friends. 4 family members, and one of them was my oldest son, and my sister. But out of all the family members, I'm like, so y'all not gonna buy my book for my son, you know? So, and I give him all the little proceeds that come from it because I wrote it for
Right.
him. But I was shocked. I was like, I have never written a book ever, and it's a little bitty thing. I'm like, no support whatsoever. I was like,
That's-
okay. I won't get my hopes up again, you know, for that. I'm like, okay, now I see,
That's how it happens.
you know, but to hear you say that, that's a thing. So, yeah, my little feelings are hurt.
Oh.
But see, that's why you take classes like this in order to expand
Gotta
your
expand.
audience. Because the thing is that your family and friends are not your target audience at all, unfortunately. You want them to be, because guess what? You support some of their endeavors, so you will hope in return that they will support you. Now, like Tony, I had an incident where I celebrated my 10-year book anniversary for being in business, and the person who was supposed to decorate, I had referred them over and over and over again. And do you know, she told me she was going to do it for free, and then she got mad at me because I told her girdle was showing. And she didn't want to do the party no more. So I had to call Tony at the last minute. Tony stepped in and did it for me at a very reasonable price at the last minute. So you just never know what's going to happen. You know, you think you supporting people and they're going to support you, and it just does not happen like that.
Right.
Yes.
In the process of talking to you, would you accept recorded? You know, like if I record what I say, because it's easy
Transcript.
to record. Is that something you do?
So what the Zoom meetings are is for me to record you. Mm-hmm. That's what they're, yes, that's what it's for. So it's 2 hours of talk time, and I hit record. Once we're done, I send it over to my typist, and she types up every single thing that we say. That's why it's so important that we stay on task, because a lot of people be talking about their dogs and their nail appointments and stuff like that. And we just want to stay on task and get the information that we need in order to make the book. Yeah.
Because I published a book of meditation. You know,
Okay.
people to meditate, but I want to tell a different story. So
Okay.
I like what you do. Because I start and it's like, I'm tired. I can't do this, you know. You wake up and I have stuff half recorded. And then the story gets bigger, and then it's just like, you start over. So, I like what you said.
Well, thank you. And you have to have a stopping point, because a lot of people don't know when to stop the story. And that's what I'm there for, because for the 2 hours of talk time, you get a total of 10 chapters. That's what it should equate to. So anything more than that, because I feel like a lot of people don't like to read. I mean, they should, but they don't. And so I write easy readers. And so easy readers are like 4-hour reads. So all of those books are 4-hour reads. That's all it takes. You can just easily read it in one setting or in a couple of days, but they're easy readers. And that's what people want. They don't want thick books like, you know, novels and stuff like that, that they have to take forever to read. So I do easy readers. Mm-hmm.
My book is it's a memoir.
Okay.
So it's not going to be too easy. It's not going to be difficult. But the chapters are, I've already started. I took a class, let's see, for writing memoir.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started that process.
Okay.
So each one of my chapters builds on a recipe
Mm-hmm.
and what that recipe entails.
Okay.
So it's like, so there is a map, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
to what the memoir is.
Okay.
I already have the title.
Well, you don't have to have a title. A lot of
No,
people
I already
think,
do.
oh, you already have one. Well, for those of you who may be thinking about it and you don't have it, it's okay. Because sometimes it'll come to you right in the middle of writing the book or at the end, or you'll say something that will just click with me. Because with the little person, she wanted to call her book bitch, nigga, and was something else. It was something else, but that's what, or midget. That was the last one, bitch, nigga, midget. Because that's what people would call her when she was growing up. But I told her, I said, you know, I don't think that's going to work. That's not going to work. And so one day we were at her house and she said, you know, sometimes it's not what you called, it's what you answer to. And I said, oh, that's it. That's that's the title.
Right.
Let's get rid of this other because that ain't gonna work, you know. So we went with that. And it was actually one of her bestsellers. Yeah, but with the title that she had, I don't think that was gonna roll over too good. So
In the class, that's the title. She just think out the box.
Mhm.
And gave us a scenario, and that's had the title before I even knew what the.
and sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'll get the title
Yeah.
and the book concept, and then I'll start working on the book.
Mhm.
Yep.
Title.
But there's no wrong or right way. It's just as long as you finish it. And you gotta know when to stop. That's the thing. Because I get a lot of people who write their own books and then they give it to us for editing. And then when we give it back to them, because we do 2 rounds of editing, which is called a red line edit. And the red line edit is an opportunity for you to either accept or reject the insertions that my editing department has made within the manuscript. So we give it back to you and you decide yay or nay if you want those insertions.
Mhm.
But a lot of people will keep writing after we give them back the red line edit. And that's not for you to do that.
Exactly.
When you submit, that's when you're done. You should not keep writing after the fact.
Just stop. Mhm.
Question on the 10 chapters. How many pages is that?
Well, probably on Word, it's about maybe 90 pages. But once we do the layout, it equates to maybe 200. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a question.
Sure.
Do you match writers with artists? I have 8 fully done children concept books,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just I do art.
Okay. Oh, you don't write? Okay.
I probably can.
So you want the illustrations to have the words, correct? That's what you're looking for? Okay, well then, yeah. Because I didn't want to, this is a surprise, but I'm actually releasing.
Surprise.
Yes, it is a
Oh,
surprise.
okay, a surprise for me.
I am releasing a children's book, my first children's book
Wow.
on February 5th. Thank you.
Wow.
And I'm an educator, as I said, so
See?
it took me all this time to figure out what I wanted to write about. And sometimes it doesn't come that easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can have the illustrations, but not the words, and that's okay.
I have words. I just
You don't know how to.
Okay.
Okay.
I got the artwork down.
Okay.
Okay. Concept book about a young black man, things he can do. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
things he can do. So I need to write.
Well, that's what I do.
That's
And
what
I
she
do it
does.
very well.
Yes, she does.
Somebody about you, they said they didn't know if you did something.
I do children's books.
Mhm.
Yes. And I actually just wrote my second children's book last week. So it's just a gift. And I have learned to embrace it. At first, I was like, no, I don't write books. I just wrote one book. But now I have accepted the gift that God has given
Right.
me. And I am a true talented writer. And
Yes,
it's
you are.
okay to toot your own
Yes, she
horn.
is.
Okay.
Yes,
I just
you
want
are.
y'all to know that.
Yes,
it's
you
not
are.
arrogant.
You're
It's not
talented.
vain. But if you do something and you do it well, it's
Oh,
okay to
Kate,
say
don't
that. Just like Tony, she knows how to decorate very well. Latanya knows how to do these classes very well. And I know how to write books.
Yes,
and I
she
don't know
does.
what y'all do, but you do it well too.
That's
Okay.
right.
But if you're interested, my cards are on the table. My website
We'll
is
talk
on
to
the
you.
on the card just as well. And did anybody else have any questions before I take a seat? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful day.
Didn't I tell you she was wonderful? So you guys make sure too, even after she'll be here. If you have any other questions for her, you can make sure you just ask her those questions, and she can get you started, right?
Yes.
All right. So now you all ready to go to the next area where we're going to be focusing in on. I always tell, where's a couple of my students are here, Mr. Brian and Eric are here, a couple of my students. And in school, a lot of times, I think I share with them this little synopsis. Don't you all say what I'm about to say in regards to this. But you all see these waters? Okay. One is aqua, whatever it's called, aquapana, pana, whatever you want to call it. Is that what it is? And this one is what? This one is arrowhead. Which one would you select? Who, how many of you all would select this water? You say yeah? Have you had it before?
I
See?
have.
Okay. Who would choose this? Even if it was a bigger bottle. So why?
I like the way that one looks aesthetically. I like the label.
You like the way it looks, the aesthetic?
The restaurant circle.
Because restaurants serve it, so a little bit of status. What about you?
It's the way it looks. I think it just looks more. I don't know. Like normally, like depending on what it is, it looks like more fancier, kind of more healthy in a way.
It looks healthier.
To me, I don't know.
It feels healthy. It looks healthier. You've had it before. She likes the taste. She likes the taste. Okay. Do you all hear yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Both of them are just what?
Water.
It's just water. Both of them, okay, they may taste different, but at the end of the day, guess what? You don't know where this water came from. Okay? But it literally is the look, just like you said, a lot of this is status. You sit in at restaurants, right? So it boils down to status, the look of it. But at the end of the day, you really don't know where it came from. But both of them are what?
Water.
They're both waters, and they're both considered to be what? They're both brands. All right? Any of you all know what the definition of a brand is? What's the definition of a brand? Start right. You can get your books in front of you, and if you got your notepads out, not your notepads, but even your computers, because I'm about to take you somewhere on your computer. What is a brand? Catherine, you probably know what this is. What is a brand? Okay. Anybody else?
Can I ask you a question?
Don't have to, don't ask me a question. Well, yes,
Why are you drinking that when you're not feeling?
because it's open. It was already open. Because I'm fancy like that. Sometimes it's just status. So anybody else care to share what they believe a brand is? What's a brand? What would you consider to be a brand? Everything that has a name is a brand? Okay. That's the brand's name. Okay, somebody said they saw this in it's design representation.
Is your logo.
Your logo.
That which represents ownership.
Anybody else? Products and service. All of those things represent a brand. But you got brand identity. We got brand positioning. We have the brand message. We have all these things, all these other things. But you all know what a brand is? It's what other people say you are.
Mm.
So what other people say you are is actually what is a brand. It literally is your reputation. So however I see or met Tony, I've already had a perception of who Tony was, even in my conversation. It's the same thing with all of us. The first time we met anyone, you met LJ, you met Dwaynia, guess what? You may not have even tried to, but automatically we all have a perception of each and every person that we come in contact with because of the fact it's a natural thing that begins to happen. So that actually is what a brand is. It is your reputation and literally how people perceive you to be. That's just like you guys we talked about this water. Most of you guys selected this water here because you know why? It's status. This represents status opposed to this. On top of that, when I looked at the back of this bottle, because I want you all to recognize the fact too, every brand has a story. When I looked at the back of this bottle, it had information in regards to it. You know, it shared with me the heritage of the taste. When I look at anybody ever had Fiji water, you know, that's really bougie. See what I'm saying? Y'all done went to the left side of the mountain. What's up with Fiji water? I'm just asking, why? She said it's off the hook, and I had a Fiji bottle.
It is good though.
It's that good?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Very refreshing.
It's no aftertaste. This don't have an aftertaste.
No, it's not.
But guess what? But guess
Yeah.
it's not Fiji. That came from the river. It came from the river. But a lot of people get, but Fiji is more expensive, is it not?
Yeah.
So I want you all to recognize a lot of times it doesn't matter when people like you for you or want what it is that you have, they'll pay
Yeah,
for it.
right. Mhm.
Remember when that Black Tylenol scare was out?
Mm-hmm.
And they came on, the owner of the company came on and gave a dissertation on how good Tylenol is, and that's not our, he literally said that's not our brand, that's not who we are. And their sales never went down.
Never went down.
Because he came on immediately when that stuff happened.
Right. He nipped it in the bud
He
right
did,
there.
He did. And I buy Tylenol.
We all buy Tylenol. I still use Tylenol unless you go get the generic brand. Anybody use the generic brand of Tylenol? Acetaminophen, that's what it's called. But for some reason, even though acetaminophen is the same as Tylenol, what do we have a tendency to do?
Mhm.
Because it's the brand.
Right.
You know why? Because it's the perception that this is better than the generic brand. And so that's what I want you all to begin to think about, even in your sales, even as you're stepping out into the market or you've already stepped out into the marketplace. People have a perception of who you are. Now, it could depend on your personality, whether I choose to do business with you. It depends on a whole lot of things. It could depend on a lot. Even this beautiful place. Isn't this place beautiful?
Yes.
Thank you, Tony. But guess what? With the beautiful colors. Now I'm an individual. You all see this linen here? She has linen. I don't do plastic. See how nice little linen she has on here? So for me, she would be my choice because of what it is that she represents, her brand identity. So even with all of that, even as we step out into the market, you guys, I want us to start looking at, now you know what a brand is, right? It's how I see you. Now I've already read some of her books. Now she can get downright raunchy sometime, right? Well, no, everybody ain't read your book. But it's her story. I consider her to be a storyteller. But she tells her story, which is what's going to pull a certain group of people in. And there are segments of people that are drawn to her story. That's just like there'll be different segments of what it is that you do of people that'll be drawn to your story. Actually, Duania made these, she makes beads. I wear these beads. I got my beads. Holistic. This is what she's all about. But you guys see these beads on me? So that's already telling you, what do I like?
Beads.
Jury leg?
Oh,
I see them beads back there. What is that telling you that I like?
Sure.
I love accessories.
Oh, okay.
If anybody would know me, you could tell, oh, shoot, she like accessories. So if there's anybody out there that has accessories, you might catch me because I like accessories. The key thing is, do I like you and the way you represent coming at me? Because I may not like you. See what I'm saying? Because you're not your accessory lady. Because guess what? Is she the only accessory lady out there?
Nope.
So I have a choice of making a decision on who it is that I want to who I want to operate with. And so even as we begin to go further and we talk about the journey and looking at brand strategy, because now you know what a brand is, right? We putting all this stuff out there, but it's what is in my mind. And even when we talk about brand positioning, anybody know what brand positioning means? What is brand positioning? I got you all over the place, don't I?
In the industry, if you watch a movie, and you can see certain brands on the table, or you can see, and they position brands
in the movie, like an ad or
Or a
something.
sitcom.
Well, it's not an ad.
It's
How they
like a
position
sitcom.
on the
Yeah,
table.
They just sit on the
Okay,
table.
that's how you see positioning. How anybody else?
What you do. Here you go.
She's- How do I position my brand in the market? How you treat the customer? How you present it to the customer? Okay, you say how you present it when you're at a function. Okay, how you market. Anybody else?
Or how you show up in the industry
Okay, how you position yourself in the to the next level. Anybody else care to want to take a stab at it? With your target, audience. Okay, code switching. We call that code switching too. Okay, so you know what brand positioning really is? You already? It's how mentally how people set you up in the market. It's how, remember how I told you what a brand is, how the perception of how people see you? But brand positioning is the space that you have in the mindset of people, whether it's your target audience. It's the space that's occupied.
So
how you're distinguished with people. That's what brand positioning is. So even when we begin to talk about your clients and your customers and the clients, the customer, their consumer, when we talk about putting together a strategy, now we have to look about what is my brand? How am I going to set myself up in the market? What is it? How do I position myself in the mindset of people? That means I got to show up too. Okay? I can't just stop here and come back again and come back and say, oh, this is what I'm going to do next. Because you know what begins to happen? Remember, when you're trying to position yourself in the brand, you're literally looking at how people perceive me in the marketplace. What space have they placed me in? That's what brand positioning is all about, which means you always have to show up. So now when I take a look at brand strategy, you all, somebody read that for me. But there's some key things I want you to see. Can you see?
Yeah.
Long-term plan that outlines specific goals, values, and methods a company will use to create a distinctive and successful brand. It involves defining the brand's purpose, positioning, messaging, and overall approach to building and maintaining a positive perception among its target audience. It is crucial for establishing a strong and recognizable brand identity, fostering customer loyalty, and achieving business objectives.
So how do we create strategy? How do I create a strategy where my brand, considering whatever it is that I do in the market, what do you do in the market? Come on, just say one. It ain't got. Okay, because you didn't make my beads. What do you do in the market? As you choose. Okay. Entertainment. All things entertainment. Yes, ma'am. Transform lives. Okay.
Transform hearts and minds with mental health cure.
You better go. Transform hearts and minds in the mental health. Okay. Curious. Okay.
Mental health cure.
I'm about to say, you better go on with a new term. You better use that. Tony. Transform space. Oh, she done came up with another name. Okay, Tony. Where's that? You use that as a hashtag? Okay, never mind. Miss Jury Lady. That ain't your name though, right? Everybody come up with transform. Okay, did you just make that up? Okay, see, she just made that up. She transforms the outer appearance to make the inner appearance feel beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna get to you in a minute because okay, yes, ma'am. Everybody coming up with all kind of stuff. They had time to think about it, right? Tantalize. You want to share? Defining vision, defining mission, and vision. Yes, sir. Uniquely designed jeans. Uniquely designed jeans. I like that. We already know. Okay, you good. You want to say it?
No.
You ain't got to say it. You good. You good. And so when we talk about strategy, now you know what brand is. So I have it in red, it's defining, remember this, the brand's purpose. What is the purpose? It's your mission. You got to look at the strategy behind it all. It's defining the brand's purpose, positioning. I talked about you. How do we take up space in the minds of our audience? Whether we're looking at a traffic or we're looking at a targeted audience, all right? It's also the messaging. Who knows what messaging would be? What you are, who you are, the message, the brand message. Anybody else? What your brand represents. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. What they're saying, okay, the messaging.
Or would it be the message they get from what you do?
The message they get from what you do, okay.
Like, you might get love.
Love, okay, you see the beautiful flowers, right? The love, okay. Anybody else?
Overwhelm the senses.
Overwhelming senses, how they pick up. So you know what messaging is when we talk about brand strategy? So we're talking about you got to define the purpose, the why, the mission behind it. We're looking at the positioning. How do you take up space in the minds of people? Now, when we talk about messaging, it's the words that come up out your mouth. You ever heard the words that come up out my mouth? Mm-hmm. So even if I'm utilizing social media, anybody on social media? Mm-hmm. Even the words that I might say, you guys see that sign? Let me put it. Tony, can you grab my sign real quick? Or Brian, grab my sign real quick. It's the words that you say. How many people use social media? You probably don't use it like you might want to do it because some of us busy, right? You don't use it at all. Okay. So even physically when we connect, like this is physical. All right. So it's what I say. So at the end of the day, you guys, we have to be very, very strategic and intentional on how we want to people to see us in the market. So it would be crazy for me if I'm in business and all I do is post dogs. And I'm gonna say, oh, I'm a customer journey strategist. In your mind, what would you say? No, you ain't. Yeah. You just posting dogs. Yeah. Huh? What you say? Oh yeah, you posting. You won't be posting dogs. We'll talk later. Huh? But it would be crazy. So when I'm looking at putting together a strategy, guys, it's about the messaging and it's the overall approach to building and maintaining a positive perception amongst your targeted audience. So the minute many of you came in contact with me, how many of you all received an email or saw me on social media or something, just follow through or came through information? And the minute you guys came into this room, what was your perception? Just perception. What's your perception?
Well, I knew what to expect.
Uh-huh.
I didn't expect anything less.
Right. Balance.
Yeah. If it was any less than this, I would have been like,
that ain't her. Something is wrong. She done went to the other side of the mouth. She on them puff pass. She on that puff pass. Okay. Don't say that. But right. So at the end of the day, as Arthur Kennedy stood up here and spoke to you all, there was already a perception in your mind of who she is and what she does, even from the questions that you asked her. As I stand here, same thing. You've developed a perception of who I am, and it's my reputation, whether good or bad, at the end of the day. And so even with this, if I'm saying this is what I do, look at this board. Now, how many of you all know the difference between marketing and just advertisement? What is advertisement? Propaganda. You better say that again. What is advertisement? Showing what you're looking at. So anybody else? Because there's a difference between advertisement and marketing. Anybody else know what advertisement is? Digital perception. Visual perception. Anybody else? What'd you say, Catherine?
The way you present your brand to the people that you want to buy it, the audience versus marketing is your sales strategy.
Okay, marketing is your sales strategy. Good. Anybody else? So even as you utilize your platforms, even as you become intentional, because we have to become very intentional on what it is that we do. Anyway, So now I want you all to begin to recognize when you put your brand out, you have to be very intentional, because at the end of the day, you have to start looking at, I can hit a bigger audience. I can hit a larger audience or a market or a target. But now I need to know what it is that I'm doing, and I have to be strategic in everything. So I can't just post dogs on my platforms. Okay? I just can't. Because now you won't know what my brand, there go a dog right there. See, squirrel. You won't know what I'm trying to represent. So when we talk about advertisement, let me tell you the first part of advertisement would be, show you the difference between advertisement. Advertisement would be if I was on social media and you guys probably saw it, and I just posted something and just said, Customer Journey Masterclass. Forget this part. Customer Journey Masterclass at specialty events, LA, the date and time. What's that?
It's general.
What's that considered? That's advertisement. That's just I'm just telling you, this is the event. This is where it's at. That's it. Now, if I'm trying to market and I'm going after a target audience, you read the rest. See the rest? See the rest? That's called marketing. Because now you have to understand, you have to hit a audience. Because you just posting something, because you have to understand too, people are very smart. And because we've dealt with so many experiences, we know what you up to. We won't even pick up a phone nowadays. This telemarketer. No, you ain't gonna get me. No, I'm not giving you my information because you're gonna call me for something else. I mean, we become, because of technology and the connections, we get smarter and smarter and smarter. So it's now up to you to understand, how do I market to either a market or I market to a targeted audience, which means I have to begin to share more information about what is going down, because I have to hit a target audience that wants to know more about certain things. You guys get it? So there lies the difference between advertisement, me just posting something, and actually marketing. And guess what? I got to keep talking about it over. I got to do a video. I do videos, right? I got to do a video. I got to talk about it. I got to do different things. This, you guys, is part of strategy. Remember, everything that we do has to be very intentional. It got to be intentional if I'm looking to connect to another audience. Another thing we got to begin to think about as we are looking at strategy, you all, we got to look at your why. Why do you do what you do? Anybody care to share? Why do you step into the mental illness arena?
I know I can actually help people. I've helped so many people, and it has been able to marry my spiritual understanding and aptitude with everyday life and struggles. And there's like, you can really help people. Like sometimes, I mean, I think back to days I'm not health, and now we can put them in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
When you can actually help people. It feels really good to.
It feels good. Okay. So, is there anything deeper that caused you to go there to help people? There got to be a story.
I work with parolees, I work with CEOs, I work with millionaires. Everybody got the same
Problems
It's just on different levels.
on different levels.
Money, their kids, their family, and being on the side of a relationship. It's always those things.
It's always something.
No matter what.
Right.
And when I was telling Anya the other day, this is probably I like my money, but this is probably one of the first seasons in my life I was really chasing purpose and impact, because I just started doing this because she thought I was good at it. I was doing something else, and I just fell in love with it. And it's been a spiritual journey for me. It's been an own personal journey for me.
Right.
I connect with people.
Right.
And I now oversee 6 other counselors, so it just transformed me. Because I'm like,
yeah, I remember you were boom, boom.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's it. And now it's more of a compassion, like, hey, how you doing? So it's really shifted who I am, and it's actually changed all my relationships.
Right. So you all hear the story that came behind what she just said? So it wasn't just, she went from just helping people because everybody got the same problems. Y'all hear? She just shifts because I began to shift into purpose and everything else that came with it. Because everybody got that why. See, so now we hear your why. Because guess what? You begin to think about. I want you all to think about it. Think about it for yourself. Is it because you are an expert in your field, have the skills, your prior experiences, good or bad? I want you all to begin to think about it. Been torn down by others, told you were worthless. Anybody here been told you were worthless? Yes. I've been told I was worthless. I've been torn down by others. Nobody else? See, that's why I connected to your books. Nobody else? Okay. Been torn down. All right. Because at the end of the day, guess what? It's your story. It's a story that always comes behind your why. Everybody really don't know my story. You see the outer part of who I am. I see the outer part of who you are. I would see this girl, beautiful young lady, always well put together. Then I read that book. I said, uh-oh, here go the story. And she's an educator. But that's the outer aspect of what it is that I saw behind her. So at the end of the day, remember, when we're talking about brand, when we're talking about brand strategy, how we want to show up in the market, it literally is the story behind, because somebody read those bullet points for me.
Knowing who you are, what occurred in your life, the experience that made you into who you are right now, and who you are becoming.
Did I just do something?
Your community surroundings, your defining attributes, are there catchphrases that you use, the things you stand for and against.
All right. So at the end of the day, that's the why. So you have to begin to think about, I want you all to think about, what's your story? What really is your story that made you get to where you can write it down. What really is the story that made you get to where you are now and made you select and choose to what it is that you do? Because it's deeper than just want to help somebody. It's deeper than, because I'm very skilled at what it is that I do. It's way deeper. And the reason why you have to begin to do that person, you guys, is that's the part when it comes to your brand that keeps you relatable to everybody else. That's the part that makes you relatable and relevant to whoever your target audience is. So just like you say, you jury, transforming the lies from the outside so they feel good on the inside. I got bits and pieces of it. But guess what? What else do? You just do the jury, apparel as well. So what else do you think she can also be doing? If she comes up and begins to share a story as to why she makes people feel good, and she begins to share her story as to why she chose to go this route, what else do you think she can also do?
She can style people just as well.
Well, she styles. She says she styles her.
She
be
styles her.
But see, but she'd be styling so many more. Mm-hmm. What else could she be doing? I want you all to begin to see when you put your brand out there and you begin to share your story, how you might be doing this, but we leave other stuff on the table that we should be tapping into. So what else could she be doing?
Start making her
styling,
own story.
Making up her own story. What else? I hope you writing that down because you get some new. Shopping. Even showing people how to dress. Mm-hmm. I like how she got them beads on. She looked good. You see what I'm saying? So showing people out there how I can do what I do, but because you do paparazzi. I mean, anybody here do paparazzi? Everybody looking funny. Nobody? Y'all do paparazzi?
$5.
$5. See, you already said it. I ain't paying no $5, but some of that stuff be, you know what I'm saying? But what's my perception?
I was gonna say this for her. There's an industry where people, because me and Catherine are mental health professionals, and there's actually an industry where people will dress you according to your mode. If you believe in the universe and believe in color modes and things like that, and particular colors of your home, your bathroom, your kitchen, even what you wear will
That's real.
So you can even
Mental.
go as far as doing that is helping people that have mental health. Again, we talked. My story is I come from pimps and prostitutes.
Pimps and
And I was
She needs to
in
write a book.
foster home, and my family
Pimps and
drugs
prostitutes.
and sex and alcohol and all of that. And whereas I didn't endeavor into that because I was scared to be out there.
Right.
As well. I went toward academia, but I still had that mentality. So I was just as in prison as my family members. I just wasn't smoking a bit on it.
Right.
So I thought if I went into the mental health professional and addiction and got all my certifications and licenses and that, whereas I lost a lot of family members, maybe I can save somebody else. So that's my story.
That's her story.
That's what I do day in and day out is help people try again, transform and try to get there. She does on the outside. I mean, if we were to work together, she's working outside, we're working on the inside. We have perfect human beings walking around here per se.
Looking good,
People
right?
are lost. And they do need, especially women, we like to go shopping to the degree of spending credit cards and all of that.
Now you ain't got no money,
So,
huh?
we do stuff to make ourselves feel good.
Real
We're
talk.
not addressing what's really going
On the inside.
We address what's really going on.
Yeah.
And there's people out there really hurting. So shopping for some jewelry, shopping for some clothes, putting on the right clothes to make you feel good inside, that's a real thing.
It's a real
People are
thing.
lost.
Right. And they're still trying to find themselves.
Yeah, they are.
So now you have people searching, trying to figure out, how do I find myself? How do I find myself? So once again, you have to understand, people will stick around when you share a story that's relatable to what it is.
Which is interesting because one of like the mindset shift is the person puts on something like, oh man, it makes me look bad, it makes me look good. No, the pants are just too small. Let's just get a bigger size.
Let's
Really
go.
small.
There it is.
Changing the whole dynamic of their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, versus the negative self-talk is not a good too far.
They just too small. That's good. That's good. So now thank you all so much for sharing that, because now you see the different avenues that we leave on the table that we can go further along. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I have nothing against paparazzi jewelry, because I probably got a couple pieces myself. Okay, they probably broke. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm a mess. But what I'm saying is, but my perception is, you know what I see when on social media every time? What do they do? Because it's the same thing. What do? They go live. They go live. And they got everything is just stacked up, right?
They tell you need this in your life. They tell you that.
You need this. Why do I need this in my life? And then sometimes I'm looking at you. It's affordable. And that's their route. So guess who their market is? Guess who their target audience is? $5 a jewelry. What you say? $5 people. Okay, 5, 10, whatever. Because I know this wasn't cheap. This is stone. Okay, them leaves came from Africa. All right. So you have to understand gemstones. Thank you very much. Not just stones, they gemstones, honey. Okay. And,
I'm sorry, just listening to it, but
yes.
I started doing jeans and denim purely because I like to see what manifests out of me. And other people see it and just want it.
And want it.
Because it's unique. It's not somebody else's
That's the
brain. It comes out of my heart.
It comes out of, but see, that's the story. It comes out of your heart and it's unique that no one else can find on a rack trying to buy some jeans. Okay? That part. So therefore, now you got to pay for this because you ain't going to find this nowhere else. See? So now, but guess what? It's a certain group of people that will pay for it.
Right.
Because some folk ain't bit more, So now it's like, who is this audience? So see, everybody may not have heard that story because this is unique. This is what it comes from my heart. This is why I do what I do. And it's probably even deeper than that. Okay? Scuba gear. Yeah. Okay. And so when you look at it, I want you all to begin to think about behind your why is also, you have to look at your surroundings, your community, because it comes from the experiences of what you've experienced within your community. All these things begin to play a part. And then what are your defining attributes? Are there catchphrases that you use? Anybody use a certain word that you, what's that?
Pain is real, but so is hope.
Pain is real, but so is hope. Anybody else got a catchphrase? What you say? Oh, you better go ahead. What you better go ahead? Catchphrase, huh?
Raggedy on purpose.
Raggedy on purpose. See? But you all see these catchphrases? This is part of your brand. You gotta you let people know. What do I say in class? What do I always say in class? What do I always say to you all, students? What's one of my friends? You don't want this smoke. And they just be laughing. Bring it. We want the smoke. We want this. I was like, you don't want this smoke. I almost said everywhere. What did I say last Friday when I stepped to the other class? I said, what? The champ is here. Yeah. That's what I said. So every time I step into class, that Friday, I'm going to walk in the room and say, what?
The champ is here. The champ is here.
That's a catchphrase that I use a lot of times. Or I tell you don't want this smoke. You sure you ready for this? You ready for the next level? And what do you always say, Brian and Eric?
Already.
They be saying, we ready. I'm like, okay, let's go for the smoke. Let's go for the smoke. And so even it's the defining attributes. And those are fun things that we use. So begin to think about what it is that you say and how, because remember, it's what people remember. They will remember what you say. And so you have to begin to think about those things as we're putting together our strategy. And then also the things you stand for and the things that you are against. Those are the values. What would I stand for? What do I really it's standing for excellence? What do I really stand for? So you always have to go back. So you see how much work it can entail? You got to go back and think, what are my real values? Would I really stand for anything? Would I really sell my soul to the devil? You got to begin to think about those things as well. So a lot of times, you guys, we have to understand that it is our story behind it. And so, like I said here, this is where your brand becomes most relatable and your audience will pay attention to these three. Somebody read those three. Facts, feelings, and fun, or how you are going to or entertain them. And they also combine. So even as we're putting ourselves, remember, we have to become very intentional on everything that we do. Facts, feelings, fun, because people love to feel good. They love to be entertained. Or are you there to educate, inspire, and entertain? So now I want you all to begin to think about these. The perception of others. Remember, we talked about the brand. So my question to you, I want you all to write down. How are you generally perceived by others? What do you think? How are you perceived by others? What do you think? Okay. Next thing I want you all to think about, your personality description. How would others typically describe your personality? Or what traits or characteristics do they associate you with? Are you a fun person? You just downright you just strict. Some folk are strict with it. They just like, whoo. How would others typically describe your personality? Think about it. And if you can't think about it, I want you to begin to ask other people, how do you see me? What do you believe my personality is? Begin to think about those things, all right? And then next, write down your occupation or your activities. What is your primary occupation or daily activities? How do you spend your time and contribute to your community or your workplace? Write those things down. So in a minute, you'll begin to evaluate. Remember, we looked at the perception, how people see you, what it is that you do. What does it say? That bottom line. This is what the public sees. You know what the public sees? LaTanya Washington, customer journey strategist, professor, coach, caring, hopeful, full of joy, and the underdog. There's a reason why I'm an underdog and why I fight for the underdog. Okay? I want you to think about what are your attributes and how do people see you? You've already written it down, right? Because it's part of your brand. The perception of how people see you and how you're already stepping out into the market. That's what the public sees. You all ready for the next? Because now you're about to get down to the dirty. The book, huh? Remember, this is how you become relatable. So now you got to look at I struggle with certain emotions and triggers. Think about and you don't have to let nobody see anything. That's your hidden self. This is what the public does not see. Only person that might see this might be your close friends. And that's if you tell them. You just chose to share it in your book. Because at that point, you already healed.
Right.
So the hidden self, you guys, I want you to think about I struggle with what emotions and triggers. I want you to begin to think about it because that's part of who you are and part of your brand. All right? That part that the public does not see. I don't know if you guys want to share, but I'm going to share me.
I'll share.
Share.
Okay. What was the first one?
Your perception, how people perceive you.
So,
yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So most people think I'm strict, which I am.
Yeah, I would say that.
I'm organized
yes, you
and I am approachable.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? What's the second one?
Personality.
My personality, I'm kind, and I'm patient, and I'm funny.
Uh-huh. And then your occupation.
My occupation is I'm an education consultant. So I'm the go-to person. A lot of people come to me to get their child development programs in compliance with state funding. And what the public don't see is I'm shy. I'm truly shy. A lot of people don't believe it, but I truly am shy. I hate public speaking. And it's the first time
public
I
speaking,
do,
but she doesn't.
but I do it.
Right.
I took a class to do it.
Right.
So, but I hate public speaking because most of the time I'm speaking in front of women. Mm-hmm. And women are the most judgmental people when you're in front of an audience. Mm-hmm. And when you speak or look or dress a certain way, people already have a perception of who you are before you even open up your mouth.
There it is.
And I get a lot of people who don't receive me because of what I look like. So there it is.
See, that's good. Anybody else want to share? Mm-hmm.
The first one, again, I have my number, but you said, what is it? Okay. No nonsense, honest, and dependable.
That's true. No nonsense. She black and white. Really is no gray area with her.
And the second one, personality, direct, friendly, and generous.
Yeah.
The next one's occupation. Give time and resources, selfless.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. That's true.
The next one is hidden self. Okay. No, it's something about what people perceive me to be or something, whatever.
But you kind of
I put together, generous and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was I don't care what you think. About me personally,
Okay.
And, they may say judgment.
Yeah, you is.
But it's not. I don't really judge people.
She said she don't judge, but I just told her. But anyway, yeah, you really don't.
No, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't. But people
you
perceive
you to be judgmental.
Right.
Like
you were saying how they look at you and kind of write you off because they just assume that I'm judging them.
Okay.
I'm not judgmental like that.
So I want you all to begin to write those things down about all those hidden selves, how people see you, and then the part that people don't see. Because those are areas I want you all to begin to recognize. That's part of the story that's going to draw them people in to you. Because we will stay right here when we can we can hit so much of a bigger market. We leave stuff on the table. Yes.
I guess my design be fit my personality.
They probably fit your personality. Yep. They fit your right. Chaotic. Would you say chaotic?
Playing music and doing my jeans.
She would probably be able to tell.
She sings really bad.
She says she agrees. See? And so when we begin to think about it, that's part of how we have to show up and share, because you don't know. Because I'm trying to get us to the place when we're talking about customers and clients and going to the next level, we can't stay in no box. You got to be able to open yourself up to a bigger market, because a lot of times our mindset is this is all I can touch. But you have the ability to open up. Our brains have you know what our brain will do? It causes you, the whole goal is it'll keep you safe. That's the purpose. Your brain, don't do that. Don't touch that. It'll keep you safe. But you got to be willing to open up to go even higher. All right. So when I begin to think about me, these are my struggles. I already told you before. But sometimes feeling I should be further along than I am. Comes with age. And so those are the things that people don't even know. You would never know unless you knew me. All right? Because even with those suicidal thoughts, LJ would know. When I went through a bad divorce, I was driving one day on my way to church and I almost drove off the 10 freeway because I was like, this is it. I'm depressed and all of those things. But in the process, we got to go through that state of healing. All right? But guess what? It's those areas that, like we said here, all challenges placed in front of you are to teach you a lesson so you can help others. So then you have to look at how did you overcome these and how did they make you stronger? Remember, that's part of how we become more relatable and connected to our audience. Like I said, I went through divorce in 1997. Things started falling apart, waves of depression. I hit rock bottom in 2019. 2019, everybody remember a year that it was just bad? You remember? 2019, when it was terrible. And I would think I was doing a video and I said, you know how I know 2019 was bad for me? I looked at my credit report. It was bad. All right. So everybody has that stuff. But what did it do? It brought humility. It brought hope. It brought compassion for others. As life went on, I realized I was not the only one and I had to learn ways to build myself up again.
You know,
yes, sir.
My wife died about 3 years ago, and it made me want to do more. But a lot of people that I know that went through what I went through, they gave up.
Couldn't handle it.
That's not my trip.
So they couldn't handle it. So then you can inspire other people who have dealt with death in their lives to say, you know what? There's hope here because I went through the same thing you went through. And that's how you become even more relatable to other people. And that's how they come closer and you are able to pull them in. See, everybody can't handle that. Everybody can't handle that. So for me, you all, just like you guys said, transformation, transforming words. So my transformation is I'm hopeful, joyful. I'm a hopeful, joyful underdog because I'm for the underdog because of what I've dealt with, the struggles. So now whenever I speak to someone, I can become more relatable. That's part of my story. All right. So I want you guys to remember all of this. This is what helps you. Now let's go now. This is the part that's going to help you get to your target audience and how your audience becomes interested, feels more relatable to you, and feels the human side of you. Now that you've opened up the door and you have allowed them to connect with you and to become a little bit closer. So now, I want you to look at your target market and your target audience because there's a difference between a market and an audience. Anybody know the audience, target audience and the market? There's a difference. The market or the audience? Yep, your target. Those are the people that you can relate to or want what it is that you have to offer. That's who you're going after. Remember how that my board said buyer persona, all that other kind of stuff.
Is the audience for just to use Legos for example?
Legos.
Would your audience be the child, but your market is the parents?
Could be. The group. It's so your market is a group. So for instance, if I'm a customer journey strategist, my market is going to be, remember I'm talking about customers. So my market literally is going to be Fortune 500 companies, big companies that have employees that have to deal with customers. You see how huge that market is? But that means, what do you think my market's gonna be? If I'm on a platform, if I'm on utilizing social media, if I'm going in and out, what do you think my market is? Fortune corporations. What do you think corporations are? I either got to go see them. I got to do a proposal. Those are, you see how big when you start opening up the market? Or if I'm going after my target audience, who do you think my target audience is? Who's my target? You in this room.
Business owners.
Business owners, entrepreneurs. That's part of the target. That's part of the target audience. So you go like kids. Your target is going after the kids, but your audience could be moms in a certain arena. Could be certain status. It could be all of those things. So it even bigger than that, it could be Toys R Us. It could be other big corporations. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all, we be leaving money on the table. I don't play that. Because there are other people that are out there for you that you can really, really go after being stuck right here. Remember, like Kraft Foods? That's big. You're already ready. See what I'm saying? So why not go after the bigger market? Why not put more money in your pocket? But guess what? You just got to do the work. Because you already got the skills and the talents to do it. Didn't you enjoy her food?
Yes.
So why not go after the bigger audience if that's what you chose to do? The key thing is we got to do the work, and it requires work. All right? So I want you all to begin to think about that. So now your target market, your target audience, now here we go. The clearer you see your market is outside of what you want to offer, the more likely you will succeed. The problem is a lot of times, you guys, we're just putting stuff out. We're just throwing stuff out there. And you might be hitting the wrong target. Because you're going over here to talk to these people, and your market or your audience is over here. All right? So the clearer you see it. So now, who do you believe your audience is? I'm going to let you all think about that. I ain't going to go there right now. I want you to think about that. Who do you believe your audience is, and who do you believe your market is? I want you all to begin to think about that as I keep moving. So here we go. Your target audience, your market, and your offer. Your offer, you guys, is tied to your market and what their desires and their needs are. There's a tie there. So now, what audience finds your offer most valuable? It may surprise you. Now, who got their laptops or their computers or even your phones? I don't know if you want to, okay. Now, they already know this because I had you all doing this stuff. There's a prompt. Anybody ever use ChatGPT? Okay, you laughing, okay. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to help you out so much. You ever used it? You just got to ask the right questions. Because you think your target is here and you understand what they're looking for and their pain points and their goals. But I'm trying to help you out easier. You could put in a certain prompt and it's going to tell you everything. It's going to tell you what your audience or your market is looking for. It's going to give you their pain points. It's going to give you everything. Because what did I tell you all before about brand messaging? That's part of your message. So if I understand your pain, I could create content, or what we call content, video, images, the message, all that stuff. Now that I know who my target market is and my target audience, I'm about to hit you like white on rice, because now I know what you're looking for. ChatGPT is going to put it. Here's the prompt. Ask it. You can ask it anything. The key thing is just ask it.
It'll give you a lot of stuff, but if you want specific, be specific.
You got to get and it'll work with you. If you can ask it, get creative in creating such and such. So one of the prompts I tell you guys, build a buyer's persona for someone looking for X, something in your market, where they can afford to spend. If you want to, you want to put the dollar amount in, and also show me their goals, frustration, and pain points. Tell it to do it for you. All right? You guys can't see. Okay. So one person that would be part of, because I want you to understand, they also come in segments. Your target audience could be in segments. So it could be a 35-year-old, a 45-year-old, it could be a 50-year-old. They want the same thing. They all want their hair done, but I got to go at them differently. You see what I'm saying? So you have to ask them. So I pulled this person up. She's a solo entrepreneur. I deal with entrepreneurs as the target audience. It gives me her background, her goals, and her frustration. I see what she's, you guys can't see it, can you? It's low. It's telling me her frustration. So all I got to do is talk the language, because that's the part that's going to pull me in. All right. So if I were to even go deeper, I just made it. I did this just to make one run for me. All right. All I told her to do, create an ideal persona for a person seeking a customer journey strategist. Anybody ever you know what a persona is? It's like an avatar. It's like your ideal client. That's what it is. That's a persona. And that's the part that we have a tendency not to focus in on. Because we're over here and we missing. And we're wondering, how come I'm missing? Because I ain't hit my audience. All right? So if I went to and this is ChatGPT 3.5. There's a 4, but it costs. This is free. It gave me a person's name. It gave me a background. It gave me a vision that they might be looking for, tech savvy, excellent communicator. It gave me goals. It gave me pain points. Now, if I'm smart, now I'm going to start creating stuff that I need. So now I can become most relatable to what this person is looking for, whether it's my target audience or I'm going after a market. I can even tell it a certain market, and it'll start spitting out for me. All right. You guys got it? So you don't have to do it today because I don't want to run out of time. But now, and I know a lot of times people have a problem. AI, it's rough. I'm in school, and a lot of teachers is like, we ain't trying to fool with that. Right. But guess what? Them youngsters is doing it. So either you gonna have a job or you ain't. Okay. But the key thing is being okay with the fact, okay, it's here. So let me learn from it so I can gain and do more in the market for myself. All right. So I want you all to be, you can utilize that if you want. You can either make the life easy for you or you can make it hard. But it'll spit out everything for you and help you provide the right message for yourself. All right. So now you guys, when we start to look at, did I go too far down? Let's look at this here. Remember how I told you guys before, a lot of times we're sitting back and we're looking at vision boards and we're looking at goal setting. How many of you all go to a goal setting workshop and don't do no goals? I mean, you just happy. Every new year. Vision board. But like I told you guys earlier, only people that really, really focus in on customer journey mapping are big corporations. Because they begin to recognize, if I cannot connect with my customer, I ain't gonna have no business. But we have a tendency a lot of times to just stay right here when we got to start looking somewhere else. How do I begin to connect? So first things first, we call it what we call customer touchpoints. Now, you guys can't see that. I wonder if I can make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? What we call this, you guys, this is what we call a customer journey. Now, the thing is with the customer journey, you guys, is the fact, not only, remember, I'm being very intentional on what it is that I do, but in the middle of everything, your customers go through emotions. They go through roller coaster rides. The question is, what are you going to do to stay in front of them? So just in case they fall off the roller coaster, you get them back on that roller coaster. That's the question. What are you going to do? So when we talk about touch points, you guys, the first thing we do is, the first section is they have to become aware of your brand. Anybody heard of a customer journey map? First time? Only with me. See what I'm saying? So you look at this The first thing that happens, you guys, whether people meet you physically, like now you guys know Tony. Now you guys know Arthur Kennedy. Now you know other people that are in this room, okay? The first thing is, you guys, when we talk about customer journeys, it's like, how do people first become aware of me? Either they become aware of you through social media ads, become a channel, word of mouth. This is how people become aware of you. It's called brand awareness. How they become aware of you, but the only way they're going to become aware of you, I can't be posting my dog all the time. I ain't talking about you. She don't post dogs. I can't be posting my dog all the time when I'm trying to make people aware of what I do. Okay? So if I'm becoming very intentional, I got to look at, my first question is, how are people going to meet me? Whether I'm posting, whether I'm at an event, whether I'm at a function. Did I bring a business card? Did I do this? Did I wear something that how people can recognize me? What's being done and what's being said? All right? That's the first step of the journey, you guys, because people would not know you from Adam until, it might go through a feed. And I ain't even gonna get into social media because that's a whole nother ball game. That's class by itself, okay? The next thing, what happens, you guys, I have here, it's interest. They click and visit your shop on this. I did that in regards to an online store. They click. Why do you think they click? Why would a person click? If they're on your social media, why would you think a person would click? They're curious. Something caught their eye. You heard something, you said something, or they saw something. Think about how people operate. I want you to think about the minds of people. We on social media all day. How many people on social? 4.2 billion? 4.2 billion people are on social media. So either they click, you came through their feed, they became interested because of something they saw, something you said, not the dog. We ain't talking about the dog. Because I can read somebody's profile, and if all you posting about is dogs, I'm gone. I don't care nothing else you got to say. You ain't showing me nothing. They become interested. When they become interested, you guys, that's when they start clicking. They're going to click. And then, what we say, curiosity. What do? Anybody got a phone? I don't even know my phone is at.
Right.
I don't care what platform I'm on. Okay, you got it, but you got. I'm going to scroll. And what do you think? Because we some. What did I tell you? Somebody's baby crying right now. I get focused. I get distracted. I'm good. But what I'm doing, because of my curiosity. You see, I want you all to start thinking like people think. That's how people think. Now they're curious. So what do people do? Because y'all do it. Now I'm going to go scrolling through your whole page. I'm looking at what else you got. Now don't tip me. Hey, but don't tip me. Because now you got me. If you start posting something that ain't got nothing to talk about what you do, or you might lose me. All right? So you have to be mindful of that. So I'm trying to tell you, this is how people operate. But in the meantime, guess what's happening? They're literally going through an emotional situation in the process. Either they are going to, from awareness, I want you to start, remember mental health, mental aware. They're going through mental things that are going through their mindset in the process. Now what begins to happen, you guys, in the journey, now they're considering, should I purchase from them? Should I purchase Miss Sandra? Should I go and purchase Miss Sandra jewelry or should I not? I really like what she said. She gonna make me feel good because she got her personality, her smile. It just pulled me in. Opposed to somebody out there, what you got? You trying to sell me some paparazzi. I don't want what you got. I like what Miss Sandra said. Because she smiles. She has this personality. She has that story behind her. So I'm liking everything I'm seeing because I want you to begin to understand this is the mindset of people. This is how we roll. What's that song? This is how we roll. Okay, I ain't gonna sing it for you, but this is how people go through. In the meantime, maybe at the curiosity phase, you guys, they might fall off. So what do you think you do? Curiosity, people might come. You give them another stimuli. It's a way in which you have to learn. Thank you for that. You got to stimulate people because guess what? We are bombarded with so much information all day long. We may love what you say, but guess what? I done got caught off by the squirrel. Squirrel, right? Can you pull me back in? Because now I'm gone. I'm looking. Okay? So remember, we're going through emotions. Now, okay, now you pull me back in. Now I'm considering what it is that you have. Now I look to make that purchase. Now I'm going to go ahead on and buy. Can you all see that? Did I put it there? Yeah, you all see. Okay, good, good. So they're going through this entire phase, you guys, in the process. And it keeps going and going and going. But as a business owner, guess what you can't do? You got through the process, what you got to do? Because now we got to be very intentional on everything we do. If I'm already connecting, collecting, and all these things, I met you, ask somebody if they wouldn't mind giving you a testimonial. Because what do we do on Amazon? If you like me, and I'm going to buy something on Amazon, what do you do on Amazon? What do we do? You think people don't do that to you? So guess what happens when you get people to give you a testimonial? People become feeling more trusting of you. And so therefore, in that trust factor, so I want you all to begin to think about things, even as you're building your brand, even as you're using strategy. Now you understand what strategy is, right? Now you know from the positioning, how the space that you occupy in the minds of others, the messaging, the identity, all of these things play a role as part of your strategy. Now we've seen your target audience. I showed you where to find them. Where I show you tell them you find them. You know, where I go tell you how to figure out where your audience is. ChatGPT 3.5. It's on them pain points, their goals, all of it is it lines straight on up. It's gonna give it. What is that? Oh, I made it too big. It's gonna give you all of that. It done made your life real easy. All right. Now, guess what? When you put your message out, you good because you've hit your audience, and you go through all of that. You get a testimonial, and then you have to continuously engage. How do we continuously engage? How would you continuously engage?
More internet, offerings, email,
text messaging. Okay. Just letting me know what you have. Anybody else? How do I continuously engage? Birthday. You could do that even through ads. Did you all know that? Okay. It'll give you information. Yes.
I did a telephone. Old phones.
Rotary phones. And you gened it. Oh, okay. So you consistently show what you have coming up next.
Something different outrageous.
Right. Something different, something outrageous. Coming up with something new. Yes.
I do show it off Sundays. Like when they purchase something, I tell them to send a picture of what they purchased. And then I do a little write-up on what they're looking like, how families they
See what I'm saying? Oh, you got loyal customers. They're coming back because, we love to be seen, right? See me, huh? See me.
You know, Tanya, I was this past holiday went through a breakup, so I was on YouTube looking for sounds and things like that to help me sleep and stress out.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept seeing calm pop up. It was just popping up. And one day I was like, okay, I need to find something better to sit with. So I purchased it, and I can't begin to explain how I didn't know the app was that in depth. And I'm not too fast to purchase anything, right? So I purchased it. I told CC, and I ended up getting my entire staff after Christmas because I was like, oh my God, this helped me through this.
It helps you through. See?
And it was such a big deal because it had been so long, but I needed something to help me sleep. I wasn't taking anything, but I just couldn't sleep. And listening to that app, and I've been talking about getting calm for years.
I heard of Calm.
I was like, I don't want to do it. I'll just go on YouTube. And I said, okay, I'm going to see. And I was like, oh my God. So I purchased it for my entire staff.
For everybody. See?
Yeah.
Because it really touched you. It connected with you. And you're like, let me get this for everybody else.
I was on there looking for music or something to help me sleep.
Right.
And saw that
It did the work.
algorithm day after day.
See?
It saw my algorithm and it kept popping up.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me try it.
It did the work.
I swear by it.
See, she swear by it.
I swear by it.
So it's that continuous, even with you all, when you're stepping out, you got to be consistent and connect. You just can't stop and go back. You know why? Because we're bombarded with stuff all the time. So besides using, a lot of times we utilize social media, but what did I tell my students? I just told them what, this past week, really, it's only going to show about 20%. It's only going to show about 20%. Why do you think a lot of times when people on YouTube, they say like and subscribe? They say that because they're trying to get more people. The more likes or subscriptions they begin to get, the algorithms give you 20% more. What begins to happen when it keeps going on, that's how videos go viral. Because it keeps, the algorithms are real. They trying to find, but if you ain't giving them nothing, they ain't coming to you. So when you're connecting with your audience and you're using certain things and you're providing them the pain points, the system will work for you. You just got to allow it to work for you in the process of it all. So at the end of the day, you always, I don't know if you guys can see, you always have to continuously engage. Keep your customers engaged. How? You said text messaging. What do you use for text messaging? Anything in particular that you? Okay. There's another one called easy texting. People, because we have a tendency to read a text before we read an email. Okay. Send out emails. Anybody, any bloggers? Write a blog and send people to a blog. Newsletters. You got to keep people coming back. You got to keep them coming back for more. Otherwise, they're going to fall. Trust me, they're going to leave you. And if you're not careful, they're going to go somewhere else. Because you know why? You ain't by yourself. It's other people out here doing the same thing you're doing. But you got to learn how to stay connected to your group. If you don't, they out. They out. So I want you all to remember that literally, these are what we call touch points. With each touch point, there is an emotion that comes across your audience, or your market is different. They're going to connect differently with you because you're connecting with a bigger group of people, a broader group of people. But I want you all to remember, do not leave yourself over here with just a target audience. Get to your darn market. Your market is what's going to give you that big time money. Okay? So you want to be mindful. That means with the market, you got to maybe write them proposals. If you're doing, I always say it right, the charcuterie board. Girl, I'm so wrong. I'm going to say the charcuterie. Charcuterie. I be saying charcoal. Why couldn't that be? Why couldn't that be crafts? Why couldn't it be? You see, why couldn't it be? But if our mind said, okay, but you see what I'm saying? But that's if you want to do the work and get there. Why can't I not just sell jewelry and open it up and do closets? All these things. Why am I limiting myself here when I can go further out into the market? But everything, you guys, this stuff is real. It's touch points that we have to hit every single time. And in the meantime, you got to know, you see the little space? What do I need to do to keep people there? I got to stay connected so they don't fall off. Or as we call it a lot of times, the cart. Anybody ever went to shopping and you put stuff in a cart, Amazon, and you just walked on the way?
Oh, they'll reach out to you, though. They'll tell you.
It's them.
They'll give you 10% off.
They'll give you, you know who do that every time? Zulu, I could be blind as a bat. I could be blind as a bat. I'm just saying. So since I ain't blind as a bat though. I ain't gonna lie. I am not blind as a bat. But guess what? Since I gotta wear glasses, why not go cute with it? See what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's still part of my brand identity. You know, she gonna wear them black glasses. They either gonna be square or they gonna be round. They gonna be something. I just bought another square pair, just bigger. Okay. But I want you all to understand what your brand identity is, how to position. Now you got to position yourself. So that means you all got work to do. You got some work to do if you choose to do the work. All right. But understand this is what people go through. But to keep loyal people, you guys, you got to do this. just like Amazon or just like Zulu or anybody else. If you leave that card, they're coming back with that email. Guess what? You can't stop either. All right? Any questions? And we are done.
I just want to know. Okay, which chat do you suggest?
3.5.
No, I mean what brand?
I have the green.
The green one. It's the green one. So it's open AI. But if you Google it and then put in Chat GPT 3.5, 4.0, I think it's $20 a month. Yeah, it gives you more, but it depends on what it is that you're looking for. But since it's out there, why not use it and make your life a little bit more easy? So when you're creating a message in regards to your brand for your audience, you know exactly how to touch them and where to go. It's just making your life easier for you in the process of it. So whether it's your market or your target audience, go for it. All I can say, don't limit yourself to no target audience. I'm out doing workshops with a market. Yes.
What as far as ChatGPT, OpenAI?
Yes.
I'm in the process of revamping a stage production.
Mm-hmm.
And I have all these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to ChatGPT. I said, put the list of I have it's like 30 something pieces. I have them in 1 through 33. I put them in ChatGPT. I said, make them relational.
Yeah.
Which pieces relate to what piece, and I just wanted to see how it's done.
Yeah.
And
it'll spit it out like water.
Not only spit it out in the like say 1 and 12 might be related, and it tells you why. This is more spiritual. This is more this. This is more that. So it helps in that way.
Yeah, it helps. It'll help you out a lot. It just makes your life a little bit more easier. So yes.
I just want to say you took the sting out of it.
Okay.
It's too difficult to try to comprehend like that group we were in. Remember the one that the lady was teaching people how to create the AI on their computers.
Oh, okay. It was too much.
So we made it very clear.
That's good. That good. Made it clear and comfortable. I can add that on my list. I make people feel comfortable, huh? I do. Shout that. Put that in the video. No play. Making people feel comfortable. But at the end of the day, you guys, I want you guys to understand, like we said at the beginning, you got to look at in the process of doing and connecting with your clients, your customers, your consumer, you have to first build out your brand. You got to create that strategy. You got to know who your target audience is because you think they over here and they over here. You say you want these group of people, but guess what? What did we show? Most of y'all was like, which water did you want? Which water? Wanted the fancy one. That ain't nothing but status. So but guess what? People pay for status, don't they? So if you put it out there right, they will come, okay, for status. But it all depends on how you put it out there in the market. Yes.
I just want to say I just got a new client that did the hair treatment.
Okay.
And she was on Yelp and told me, she said, oh, this person is curious. Let me see, what the review said.
Yeah.
And we got along real good.
See?
Nice.
And that's just how it goes. This is how we roll. Huh? I ain't gonna sing. Don't be. Hashtag. Remember, if you post a picture or say put hashtag CJM Masterclass. I want to see hashtags all over the place. 2 M's. Yes. Let me go to the beginning of it. Let me find it for you. See it right at the top. Don't play, huh?
Oh, it's not okay. So
CJM Masterclass. Right. Now, okay, that's what it is. Now, come on back up here, Kennedy. Did you guys enjoy Kennedy? Of course you did. So at the end of the day, you guys, first of all, thank you guys so much for being a part of this masterclass. Now, if you want to get the whole video and all thing, it's already on the website. 50% off. That means it ain't but $23. Okay? So you'll get the video. But you have to use that code, attendee. You can snap a picture. And so when it comes to Kennedy, you guys enjoyed Kennedy, right?
Yes.
She is an amazing storyteller. And not only is she an amazing storyteller, she does not have a problem with really, really going deep enough in to really making people feel relatable. And she, like you say, she gonna tell it. But what did she already tell you guys? The stuff that she deals with that no one never ever sees. What's her hidden part? Shy and don't like to speak. But you would never know that, right? So she might leave here and cringe. But that's the part that's the most relatable. Me talking about committing suicide, going through divorce, that part is relatable to people that have gone through that or feel now you're at a certain age and I might have missed the boat. We ain't missed no boat, did we? We ain't missed the boat. You about to have a birthday. We got a theme party to go to. Okay? You got a birthday coming up, Miss LaShawn. Okay. Okay. We have not missed the boat. All right. And so in the meantime, I want you all make sure that you do the work. Understand that your customers are what keeps your business going. Make sure that you take out the time to find your right market and your right audience. So you're not out there trying to really figure it out or trying to write the right message and all of these things. So you are ready for the world. Don't make it hard on yourselves. So it's time for you to even step out even more. And I'm going to have to follow up on her, huh? Okay. And so any last words, Miss Kennedy?
Well, I always say never judge a book by its cover.
That's the real talk. That's real.
Looking at me, you would never know that I was in an abusive relationship or went to jail for assault.
She went to jail, y'all.
Weapon and things of that nature. But you go through things sometimes to share your stories with others in your healing process of how you got from point A to point Z, because it's not always the point B. You sometimes go through point C, D, E, F, all of it. And all of it. But I take pleasure in sharing my stories. All my stories are real, except Just Can't Do Right. But all the rest of my stories are truly based upon my real life personal experiences. My last book is I Don't Know What to Tell You, which is about a dysfunctional relationship about me and my real mother that we have. My grandparents raised me from the time that I was 6 months old. And they've been like parents to me, or they were like parents to me. And so that's why I say you can never, because you look in shock right now. And that's why I say you can never judge a book by its cover. So you just never know. And
here she is today, right?
Yes.
How many books?
11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 11 books.
11.
After all that in her life. So thank you guys so much for being a part. Now make sure on your table there are other things out here. What is this, Tasia? Her esthetician. She's an esthetician. She actually also provided a $25, looks like, what is this? Savings. So check her out as well. That is available to you because I'm definitely going. It's here in Culver City. Make sure that the notes that you have taken today, that you focus in and you do the work, because now it's the work. We can go do vision boards, all these other things, but guess what? All of them require work. So if you ever need to reach out to me and connect, you have other questions, just email me, call me. You guys have my information, and that is it for today.